Good morning, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm from Brazil, and it wasn't a long flight because I'm leaving Dublin. And today I want to show you something different called progressive web apps. How many of you heard about this term before? Okay, nice. And I would like to see so we have Android developers, iOS developers, okay, backend developers. All right, yeah, so I think I reached the 100%. Maybe front-end developers? No? No front-end? One? Okay. All right, nice. So one nice thing that's happening with the web is the possibility to do a lot more. So it's funny because when we think about web, we usually think about websites and maybe some web apps that we know, like Facebook or Twitter, right? So today I want to show you how to bring the power of progressive web apps powered by Firebase. All right, and how many of you heard about Firebase? All right, I think almost everyone, okay. Right, nice. So I have some stickers, yeah, for some questions. And my Twitter is Juarez PAF. I tweet about Firebase, progressive web apps, remote working, traveling. I usually travel a lot, so if you want to follow me, go ahead. And also, I want to give you this URL so you can ask some questions. It's really easy. When you go to this URL, you have a chat here on the right side. And if you put /question, space, and write your question, it will appear here instead of the chat. Okay, so it's built with Firebase, and my idea is to help people while in conference to meet each other during using the chat, and also have some functionalities like questions, polls, and quizzes. Currently, I just have questions because I didn't have time to build the other functionalities. But if you want to ask any questions and I can't answer during the talk, I can answer later or outside, and I can also reply inside of the chat, okay? All right, so Ajax. All right, everyone knows about this already, right? It was a long time ago, but it's really impressive because we have this thing called Ajax, and we have a revolution because we went from the static websites to powerful mobile apps, for example, right? And then it was impossible to think about something like Google Maps before Ajax, or before what we have today on the web, right? Because, okay, everyone's go to Google Maps and, okay, directions and everything. But before, it was really, really difficult to build something like this on the web because we were really limited of what we can't do with web before. And then we see a lot of usage of mobile instead of desktops. And it means that at some point, we are going to have more mobile users than desktop users because we are mobile, right? We are always commuting and to different places, right? So also, this is what we are doing. We have a lot of mobile apps that we install in our phones. But the difference is still huge. We have 13% versus 87%, mobile web and apps. So this is you guys, native webs, right? native apps, Android, iOS, okay? And that's me, just kidding. So basically, what we see is a huge number of apps and not that much of mobile apps, right? And then we spend 80% of our times in just 3 apps. So think about it, right? In your daily basis, which apps do you use most? You know, you have probably 30 apps or even more on your phone, and you are using 3 apps the whole day. you know? Yeah, if wow, I'm using WhatsApp, Google Maps, and Inbox. That's me. So that's really important, because when we want to reach other markets, we need to think about it. We have a lot of options. So how we can make the difference, you know? So that's also the difference of capability and reach. Sometimes we have this large gap. And yeah, once again, think about the last time you installed an app. You know, like, okay, I'm going to try something different that I don't have in my phone, on my phone right now. Well, think about it. Like, what was the last time that you installed an app? I don't remember, actually, you know, because we are used to take our phone and use that without need to install anything. Of course, if you are into games, you probably are going to install a lot of games during the week, but that's another story, right? So, what is going on? Okay, here, yeah. So, progressive web apps, right? And when we talk about this, we have a lot of concepts that sometimes is a bit confusing. So, it's a library, it's a framework. It's an idea, it's approach, what is that? You know? And basically it's a combination of three main things, right? So secure, HTTPS, right? Service workers, and web manifest. And what? What are you talking about, right? Yeah, okay, we are going to see what's going on. But first, when we talk about progressive web apps, we are also talking a lot about user experience, right? So probably when you are developing your native apps, you are also thinking about user experience, what is the best way to achieve some tasks and this kind of stuff. So probably you are going to follow the material design guidelines, you know, to have so nice animations and this kind of stuff. But it should be reliable. And that's not reliable. You know, you are offline, and it's sometimes frustrating because, oh, come on, I want to see the article that I was reading like 5 minutes ago. And that's not reliable. It's really cool because we can play a game, right? Yeah, during my flight, I lost the count of times that I played this silly game. But it's really nice. But for the user, really, you want to give to your customer this experience? And there's a term called Li-Fi. So it's a term that one guy from Google said one time, and it's really nice because Li-Fi is that moment that you think you have connection, but you don't have. You know, like that's, okay, I have signal. It shows that I have connection. But what's going on? It's not going anywhere. I can't see my tweets. I can't send a message on WhatsApp. What's going on? So that's why they call Li-Fi. And it's pretty bad. So imagine your user using your app and waiting for the internet to be able to do something. That's not that good. So yes, we unfortunately need to kill this guy because we need to provide a better user experience for our customers, right? And then we talk about fast. It's impossible to use an app if it's not fast, right? So if you think about it, okay, 5 seconds to load that's impossible. I'm going to remove this app because it's not that good. So you need to think also about performance when you are thinking about user experience, right? So I was talking about 5 seconds, but a lot of research points that it only takes 3 seconds for a user to leave your website or your web app. Imagine that. What? 3 seconds? Okay. That's it. You know? Gone. You lost your customer. So that's why fast is important, and that's why performance matters, right? And engaging. So, okay, we have a reliable and a fast app, but what about engaging? What are you doing with your app to be engaging so you can keep your users? It's really, really difficult to keep your users engaged, but that's one thing that you really need to do. So when we think about those three concepts, we have immersive, home screen, and notifications. So immersive, it means full screen, theming, and orientation. That's one thing that probably you are used to go to your Google Chrome or your favorite browser, maybe Firefox, and you just see the Chrome, you see the bar, the address bar, and you see the interface of Chrome, and then you see the website and the web app. But that's not what we want, because we want to give a better user experience. And when we talk about home screen, we also talk about your home screen, your phone's home screen. All right, so you went to the DevFest Baltics website, right? You saw the pop-up to add to the home screen? No? Nobody? Yeah? One? Just one? Okay, so actually the DevFest Baltics website is built with Polymer, and also it's a progressive web app. So you are going to see that's pop up and say, okay, you want to add to your home screen, and when you add to your home screen, you gain a lot of functionalities, including full screen, dimming, and the ability to do push notifications. So actually, notifications is really important, but be careful, because sending notifications over and over again to your users, it's not good. I'm going to uninstall your app because I want to live my life instead of, okay, it's vibrating, let me check. Oh, again? Why? So think about it, User experience matters. So when we talk about notifications, to do this with web, we use web push notifications, right? So for example, here we have your check-in is ready. You can go there and do your check-in. So it's airberlin.com. They also have a progressive web app that you can use. And it's pretty nice because I don't need to install 50 different airlines apps, right? Why I should have to do this? So you can use the website, and the website is going to send you a web push notification. Okay, your check-in is ready. Do you want to do it? Do you want to get your boarding pass? So that's the experience that I want as a user point of view, right? I want to get my check-in done, and I want to get my boarding pass to not go to the airline booth to get a paper. So also the Washington Post, they created a progressive web app, and you can check later in this link. And this is the add to home screen functionality that we have with the web manifest. So it's really easy, really simple. So okay, you have an XML configuration file, all right? But for web, we have JSON configuration file. It's almost the same thing, So we defined some things there, and we are going to show the image, the title, and the add to home screen button. And then when the user press it, all right, it was added to your home screen. And now you have a web app into your home screen. And for the user, well, of course, we are in the IT field, and we know that it's not a native app. But for your user, it doesn't matter, If it works, that matters. And that's really nice, because now we have the power of the web on your phone. And then, when we launch, we also have the splash screen that we all know. And also we have the full screen capability here without the address bar of the browser or anything. It looks like a really native app, right? So that's incredible, the power that we have on the web today to do different things. Oh, come on, it means that I'm going to leave my Kotlin or Swift to move to web and do everything with the web? Maybe not, because that's not the point. The point is that you need to provide a user experience cross-platform, right? So if your user are using Chrome to go to your website and you can provide a better user experience for him or for her, why not? You know, okay, I need to go to the Play Store and install your native app. That's fine as well. So see, here we can also show that it really looks like a native app because we can also kill the app and do other things. So yeah, so look at that number. It is a time that the article page loads. So it's really, really fast because we have a lot of capabilities like offline and service workers and other caching strategies that we are going to see in a moment. Okay, let's see how we can do it. Just a moment. So yeah, you are thinking, okay, but it's not that easy, right? I need to do a lot of work. I need to learn a lot of new things. Let's see. So first, stay secure. All right, so on the web, we really need to use SSL, okay? So that's the best thing that we can do, because also when the Google search, for example, they are ranking better your site if you are using HTTPS, okay? So, okay, trust, data integrity, and user privacy. So these are the 3 key points when you need to provide security on your website. And yeah, I know, if you tried before to get a certificate in the SSL, it's kind of hard. It's kind of, like, oh my God, maybe I need to spend some dollars, euros, or the local currency that euro here? Yeah, okay, nice. I never know. But now we have Let's Encrypt that you can use for free, okay? So if you have your website and you want to provide SSL, you can just go to Let's Encrypt and get a certificate. And that's how it works. It's really simple, right? And we have this canonical thing on the web to be certain that you are doing the right thing. And you also can use Chrome DevTools Security Panel to check if your certificate is valid or other things like this. And if you want to know more about this, on how to be secure on the web, you can see this link. You can check this link later, right? Or you can use Firebase. Because Firebase Hosting has all that you need to be able to be secure on the web. So it's a SSL by default. You can also use your custom domains. And there's an integration with Cloud Functions. I don't have that much time to talk about all features that Firebase provides. So I'm just showing to you what you can do related to progressive web apps. But if you have other questions related to Firebase, we can talk after my speech here, okay? So it's really nice because when we think about static web hosting, we are thinking about, okay, I'm going to put my HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and that's it. I can't do anything dynamically. But with Cloud Functions, you can trigger URLs to do something dynamic. So it's really powerful if you think about it. So when your customer go to your website and hits a specific URL, you can do something related to that on Cloud Functions and trigger other things, third-party libraries. It's really, really powerful. All right, and one of the biggest pillar of the progressive web apps is Serviceworker. So you can think about Serviceworker as a little JavaScript file that you insert on your website or web app, and you provide a lot of features for you. So here we have the example of Flipkart. And it's really nice because the service worker will intercept everything now. So the interaction from the user, let me see, yeah, the interaction here from the app to the web server now, it's not directly, it's going through the service worker. And you can think about strategies to prioritize your cache and show to the user, and then get from the web server. And it's really, really powerful. So Flipkart is e-commerce, right? And the idea for e-commerce is enable people to buy things online, right? But if you are not online, what you as an e-commercer can provide to your users to be able to enable them to buy what you are selling? No? Not ideas? Sorry?
Add to wish list.
Add what?
Add to wish list for the later purchase.
Yes, okay, that's a good thing. Some other ideas?
Save the catalog on the device.
Okay, good. Something else?
Sending reports.
Sending?
Reports.
Reports. Okay, but the user is offline.
Well, he could send like get for later when he'll get online. He could send. Just he knows the idea. He writes it down and then it sends.
Oh, okay, right. So one great thing that they are doing this and I never thought about it. So they are e-commerce, right? And when the user is offline, they enable the user to call them. So I was like, seriously? It's so simple, you know? When you think about it, it's an e-commerce. They want to sell, and the customer wants to buy. But if the customer is offline, how is that possible? Just call them. And they enable you to call the e-commerce, and you can buy. And it's pretty interesting because when you think about it, it's simple. But if you have something selling online and you want to enable your user to buy, even offline, it's a great strategy to enable the user to call you. All right, so we have some life cycle here, like register, install, activate, error, idle. It's a lot of things. So I'm going to skip a little bit this part because it's a lot of, okay, so the life cycle here. So the first time the page loads, we install the service worker, not we, right? The browser installed the service worker and then activated it. So from that moment, it checked for update, and we have different states. So the user closed the page, and another thing here, when the user closed the page or the tab, the service worker is still enabled, is still active, because it doesn't matter if the user closed, the service worker is related now to the browser. So the browser knows, for example, if you are going to receive a push notification, even with the website closed, you are going to receive that notification because it's part of the service worker. Yeah, so then from that moment, the second time, we can load the page from the service worker, from the cache. So it will be really fast. And that's what we are aiming for, to be fast. Okay? And then you can check for updates and reload the page, show a banner to the user, reload the page or something like that, right? And you can also check other states of the service worker. All right, so this implementation has a little bit of JavaScript, so stay with me, don't run. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Basically, the service worker is a part of the navigator. So you need to check first if the browser has this capability. If it's the case, we are going to register the service worker. As I said before, the service worker is just a JavaScript file, okay, that you configure to be able to do a lot of things. And then, all right, service workers is on, or something went wrong, and that's the install process. So now we are going to add an event listener, right? So when we are going to install, we can do something here. And then we have the prefetch the app resource. So we have the cache name, we have the files that we want, and we are going to use that cache name to serve to the user, right? So we are going to add all files into the cache so it will be available offline. So it's pretty simple. As you can see, we have other things here related to JavaScript, but it's not that much. And here we are also activating the event handler. Yeah, some promise, some mapping things here. Don't worry that much. Most of the tools that we are going to use with the web, it's going to take care of this for you, all right? All right, let me see this here. How am I going here? Oh my God, all right. Okay, so we have the fetch event. It's so when the service worker is listening, it's going to show the cache and then going to the network to see if something changed. And then, once again, we are going to respond or fetch from the network. All right, and then we have the scope that we can create here in different places. And we have some different strategies that we can use. And remember, you are always in control. So if you want to fetch from the network first and then store in the cache, you can do it. If your app needs to be always online, you can do that this way. If not, we can do the offline first strategy. So basically, we have here the page, the service worker, the network, and cache. So when you think about it, you have your website or your web app, you have the service worker that's going to interact with the network or with the cache. And that's up to you. That's your strategy. So you can do in a different way. For example, here, the service worker is going first to the network and then falling back to the cache. And then cache, then network. So you see, there's a lot of things that you can do. It's up to you. Usually, the offline first is the best way to go because you can show the user really fast what you want to show, right? But if not, you can do other things. So as you can see here, we can deliver with the service worker and then try to go to the network, and if the network fails, we can get from the cache and go back to the user. So it depends of what you want. And there's a lot of resource links at the end of the presentation. I'm going to share with the organizer later, then you can check later on. And also, there is a really nice book from Jake, the Offline Cookbook. This is the guy that told us about the Li-Fi term. It's really nice. And you can also learn a lot with him. And for that, for the offline part, we also have the Firebase Cloud Firestore. So the Cloud Firestore is really, really nice because you can enable the offline content. It's not that easy when you have, for example, to request to the API and go back to the service worker and store the data and then update the data afterwards. For your static files, it's easy, but for data that's dynamically, it's not easy. So if you want to combine with a solid strategy for offline data, we have Cloud Firestore. You can think about this as a combination of Firebase database with cloud.store. from Google Cloud Platform, and it's really, really powerful. And also, you can check later on YouTube a really nice talk about Cloud Firestore. So engage your users. So we talk about add to home screen, right? So you can also add to home screen going to the browser and ask to add to home screen, right? And this is the manifest.json, the file that I told you. Instead of an XML file, we have JSON. But it's really, really basic. Just name, short name, the icon that you want to do, the start URL that you want to display, the display mode, orientation, background color, and theme color. It's only those options, and you can do a lot with this, providing this kind of experience for your user. And here we have the splash screen based on the configuration that you have as well. So if you want a different background color, you can do as well. And this theme is this little bar here that you can see. For example, YouTube is red, right? The watch post is black. And that's it, right? So that's a great idea. And to prompt to install is up to the browser to show you or not. So it's not your control. So if, for example, the browser sees that you're always going to that website, it's going to pop up the notification, hey, you are visiting this website a lot. What about add to your home screen? So this is really nice. So remember, works offline, consistent experience, and the users is engaged, all right? So this is a Jumia here, another example of a progressive web app. And talking a little bit about numbers. So 38% of open rate is really nice, you know? And then more conversions. So you can see that progressive web apps is also benefit to your business, to your ideas, to your project. But remember, notifications, it should be timely, so when it matters, and it should be precise, and it should be relevant. So always think about notifications in a way, all right, that combining these three terms, right? And also it's built on service workers, so you need a service worker to be able to push notification to your user. It's a little bit more of JavaScript here. You can study a little bit more in details later. And if you want to know more about push notifications, you can go to the code labs. So Google has a lot of code labs for free available. And you can check this one related to push notifications. And once again, you can use Firebase Cloud Message. So Firebase Cloud Message is the solution for cross-platform messaging. So you can use on iOS, Android, and web. And it's really powerful because inside of your dashboard, you can choose and how to send message to your users without write a single line of code. So it's really, really nice. And you can check this later on the Firebase console. So stay secure, use a service worker, and remember, progressive web apps are progressive. Seriously? Yes, because you can, for example, get your website today or tomorrow, or your web app and improve your experience for your user based on the progressive web apps techniques, right? So that's why we call progressive. And yeah, you always need to care more about your user experience, right? Because to be successful, we need to delight our customers. So one thing that I want to try real quick is for you to go to mobile.twitter.com. So if you have your on your phone the Twitter app, I would like just for a moment uninstall it, you know, uninstall your Twitter app, and then go to mobiletwitter.com, and you are going to see almost the same experience that you have with your native app using a mobile web app or a progressive web app. So mobile.twitter.com, they built a really nice progressive web app, including all features that you can use on the native app. And the nice thing about this is that, for example, the native app, they have, I'm going to show you in a moment. So they have the same capabilities, Twitter Lite, and you can click on it and open your Twitter. You can do all things, search, notifications, direct message, send a new tweet. And yeah, that's it, you know. That's incredible because we have more than 200 in iOS, 24 on Android, and 600 kilobytes. And it's even less. I was testing today, and it's around 200 kilobytes. So, and I saw my Twitter app on my Android phone earlier. I deleted as well. So it was over 100 megabytes. So imagine when you are using Twitter only with 200 kilobytes, and it's really important. Maybe here the data is not that expensive, but if you think in other regions like Africa, it's really expensive. So for them, it's really powerful to have the ability to have the same experience on Twitter using only 200 kilobytes. So this is insane. This is really, really nice. Yeah, so try it. Yeah?
But you mentioned about cache.
Sorry?
You mentioned about cache.
No, this one is just when you install the app. 200 kilobytes is when you install, yeah.
Data cached.
Yeah, when you are going to use, it's going to increase, of course, yes.
We will the same situation.
No, not the same situation, because here we have 100 mega and here we have maybe 1 mega, you know, because it's also efficient. When the browser says that you are not using that cache anymore, it will expire, you know. So you can, once again, you are in charge of this. You can say, okay, I want the cache to be expired tomorrow. So when you access tomorrow, you are going to download it again, you know. So this is one thing that also Twitter did really good. Think about the cache and the strategy that they are using to not go to this way here, you know. So it's really nice, and we have other apps doing the same thing. So think about it, 65% of increase in pages per session and 75% increase in tweets sent. Just using progressive web apps. So imagine the impact of progressive web apps on your business, on your startup, on your company, you know. So we are talking about Twitter, one of the biggest social networks of the world. Imagine what you can do combining your current skills with progressive web apps. So just to enumerate some of the companies that are using progressive web apps, we have, well, some companies here. So yeah, we have Twitter, Uber, Lyft. We have other examples from Google as well. And I'm not sure why it's not displaying the map behind it, but that's fine, probably the contrast. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of companies already using progressive web apps to enhance the user experience and to provide different options. Because even if you have a native option, when you have a progressive web app, you can reach different audience. You can reach people that don't have a space on their phones. Yes?
Where's the Facebook?
Where is the Facebook? Yeah, we're still waiting for it. So I like to finish with this quote. So if at first you don't succeed, call it version 1.0. You know, okay, it's not. No, it's not that. Okay, so let's call it 1.0, and then let's try to do better with the 2.0 version. It's funny because when I present this in Dublin, when I show this phrase, Lawrence from Google said, on Google we call it beta. If at first you don't succeed, call it version beta. You know, we are in beta, you are doing this, you know. So yeah, you know, try, experiment different things. The talk before, it was really, really inspiring, because that's what we need to do. We need to try different things. We need to improve ourselves. We definitely need to skill up. So think about it, you know. Maybe you can develop your next product using the concepts of progressive web apps. And if you have any questions, you can reach me via Twitter. And yeah, go build, you know. So yeah, if you have any questions, hit me on Twitter. Really nice to be here at DevFest Baltics. Thank you very much.